Afternoon, everyone. So we can wait for couple of minutes for people to join in. Yep, it's 1:31, so we should wait for another a minute or so. Okay. So and strength is still 23. So let us wait for another couple of minutes. Maybe people can join in, and actually they are jumping into this. But yeah. So let's get started because maybe afterward people can join in. Uh, So let me just share my screen with you guys. Yep. Yeah. So earlier, yesterday we had a discussion about membership and identity operator. I guess this is the topic where actually we have left. Yeah. So as I said, membership operator. These operator test for membership in a sequence such as list, strings, and the tuples. There are two membership operator in and not in. Okay, it gives the result based on the variable present in the specified sequence. So yeah, so I have today morning only I have prepared a few exercises for this in and not in operator, and maybe not this is not the right time to show you for this actually, because there we have to include some sort of list, and then we have to include tuple. So before until unless you will not have a clear idea like what is tuple, what is list, so I can't start that. So that is what I'm thinking, like first let me just give you a brief about what exactly it is, and then we will cover later on. Okay. Yes. So I guess operator precedence also I have covered. uh, I guess yesterday we have covered this as well. Tell me if anybody have remember this, whether we have covered or not. uh, uh, can somebody type message whether we have covered this or not? Somebody has typed that no sir. Okay. uh, yeah, it has been covered actually. That's what I do remember, like what actually happened here. So guys, please remember this actually, because if same thing I'm gonna repeat, it would be a problem for you guys in later on, because we do not have that much time, like means we have unlimited time and we have to work on it. No. So we have very limited time and we have to cover all the topics which have been listed in your syllabus. Okay. So yeah, I do remember I have covered this, and somebody has also confirmed that I have already covered. So now, so before moving, let me just give you I already had a discussion with you guys, like what exactly the data type, what type of data, actually. So let me give you a more brief about that. So data type, the basic data type which we were, we had done some sort of work around, it's an integer, it's a float where we have done some work, and as well as we have covered string as well. Okay. Rest all we haven't covered. So as you can see here, boolean we have covered, by the way. Yeah, boolean have two different types. One is true or false. Integer has a range from -1 to 0 to 1, and it has 32 bits of precision. Okay. And long has unlimited precision, and float having some sort of values. You can say like it's 3.214 and 6.13. This is what the range which we can say. So I am just giving one example how exactly the value, which means like you will see and you will come to know like where means which value is corresponding to what type of data type. Okay. So string, as I mentioned, I have given one example for this. It's a kind of message variable which I have created and I have listed there. So yeah, again, this is a string which I have mentioned here. It's a kind of string data type, and then dictionary where we have to always work like this. So it's a, you can say it's a key, and correspondingly there is a value. Okay, so this is how actually you need to think of. So now key value is there, then we are using which type of data type? It's a dictionary basically. Now file, suppose you wanted to open and read the file, and suppose you have to work on that file, you need to write something on that file, you have to edit on that some file, you need to write or read whatever. So that is what another data type, which is nothing but the file. Okay, another one is list, which we are going to cover in this entire topic. I'm not saying like we are not going to cover the one which are listed there, but list is very important, data type, and we will get most of the things in list only. So list, set, tuple, and dictionary, this is the most crucial data type present in Python. So we have to work on these data type more, and I do have so many examples with having list, and with file as well as set and as well as tuple. No, now let us just discuss one by one each data type. So boolean, integer, long, float, complex, and string, we have already covered it, and we have already had a lot of discussion about it. Now there is a new thing, nothing but the list and the set and the tuple and the dictionary. So let us take one by one. Let me just describe you what exactly the list is. So list use when we need an ordered sequence of homogeneous or heterogeneous collections, okay, whose value can be changed later in the program. Suppose you have created one list. Okay, now you have created one list, and that is in some sort of order, maybe it's a kind of sequence. Okay, so now in that list, suppose you want to change some value. So maybe you wanted to change some value, so how exactly you will do that? So you need to access first that list, and then only you have to go to the location from where which value you need to change. Okay, so that always, you can change that particular value on later phase. So later phase, that is what I intended to say, later in the program. Suppose you wanted to edit something on the list. Okay, suppose I am I have already have one list with which contains all you guys, all the students who are attending this class. Let us say we have that. Now out of that, suppose I have mistakenly written one wrong name, let's say. Then I have created list, then I have to edit that part. So how I'm gonna do? So for that sake, we need to open the list. We need to access that particular location where exactly the name comes, and then we have to edit that part. Okay. Apart from that, we have another data type, which is tuple. So tuple use when we basically need an ordered sequence of heterogeneous collections. So here, as I said, it's a heterogeneous collection. Earlier list was what? It was homogeneous collection. Okay, whose value need to be changed later in the program. So list as well as tuple, both values can be changed later on. Okay, so these 2 points you need to remember, like it's a one is for homogeneous and heterogeneous collection, another is for heterogeneous collection, and both value can be changed later in the program. Okay, so please make sure, somehow what I am saying is, at least you guys should maintain some notes for this, because this is, if anybody will ask you any question, they will first come and they will say like, tell me what is list. So you have to be very, very careful about telling the definition of list. Okay, now what is set? Set ideal when we do not have to store duplicates, and you just need to concern the order of particular item. So what I'm saying is, set doesn't contain any sort of duplicate values. So suppose I'm just keeping a list in which there is a two different name can be also saved. Okay, But in the case of set, we do not have that kind of facility. So if there is duplicacy, then it is not getting created, or maybe if it is getting created, then it will create only one value. Okay, so that is how set. So generally we use set when we need only unique values. Okay, so that also it's a very important data type, which you can say means even I use these set as well as tuple as well as list very frequently. Okay, so now what is dictionary? So as I have mentioned while talking about this, it's a key and value. So dictionary is saying what? It's ideal whenever we need reference values with the keys. So suppose these dictionary I have created, this kind of dictionary I have created. Suppose I wanted to access item 2, then how I'm gonna access? I will call only B. Okay, if I will refer this key, B is nothing but the key, and what is the value corresponding to the B? It's a item 2. Okay, so if I will access, I will call this dictionary and I will write just a value of this key, so value of B, then I will get item 2. So it's a pretty much simple and straightforward. Now how exactly a list tuple set you can differentiate among them, how exactly we can define it? So here I have mentioned for you guys, list can be, syntax of the list is look like this, you can see. Okay, now set here has to be this kind of braces. Now tuple has this one, so instead of tuple and here I can, maybe you can in front of you I can write it here 4. So list, this can be possible, but in in set that is not possible at all. Okay, and tuple, what tuple, in tuple what you are doing? So you can see here in tuple 1 2 3 5 is written. So tuple, it's also the same, similar to the list, but the thing is here we have heterogeneous collection, not homogeneous. Okay, so this is how you need to differentiate, and this is how you need to know what all data types are. Okay, now so let me just move on, and somewhat I will also give a brief about built-in data type, which I have already covered here, but yeah, few more. So how exactly you can classify those? So I have just created one categories. In categories I have mentioned what kind of string data type, where exactly string str data type is being used, when you have text type. Okay, now where exactly int float complex is being used, when we have numeric kind of data, when we have sequence type of data, means there may be order, some order is being followed, or there may be some sequence, or maybe where order matters, there we can use list, tuple and range. Okay, what about boolean type? Boolean type, true and false, where it is required, whether you need or not. Okay, what about set types? Set types, as it is written, is set and frozen set. Means I rarely use frozen set, but yeah, there is another type in set. It's called as frozen set. Okay, what is binary type? Binary type, when we need to know bytes, or maybe byte array, or maybe we wanted to view of memory. Okay, so then there only we used to know like how exactly memory view looks like. So there, that is also a kind of category which we have classified as in binary type. Okay, now mixed type expression and data type conversion. So how, suppose you are getting two int value, so suppose link this as in how exactly your int values are. Okay, and if there are two int values, then what output will you get? Will you get integer value output, or will you get float value output? Okay, so that need to be taken care here. So you can correlate this minus minus plus, or plus minus minus, or plus plus is plus, so you can correlate with that. So that is where we need conversion. So as I have mentioned here, if the operation which I am gonna perform in two integer value, then definitely I will get integer value. If my operation which I'm going to perform on float values, on two different float values, then definitely my result would will get in float. Okay. Similar way, when we have an operation which I am gonna perform on integer as well as on a float, means we had two variables, one is kind of integer and another is of float, then the int value will be temporarily converted to a float. So one value is converted into float and another is already is in float, so that means float becomes float. So that is why I have mentioned here. So if you have two values, one is integer and another one is float, so float having higher precedence, or you can say like that conversion will take place. Okay, so this is how you need to know. Now let me just show you this type conversion. Okay, so uh, let me just take a give you a brief. Suppose I am converting these kind of, print of, I am just doing this print this. What is this? This is float value or not? This is float value. This is also float value. This is what? Tell me, this is what? Integer values. What will you get? You will get float value. Here what is that? Float value. Float value, you will get definitely float value. Here here you, this is float value, but you have converted into integer, then what will you get? You will get integer value. Suppose I am converting this float value, okay, into string, I will get entire string. I don't need to work on it. Now if suppose it here it is written bool 1, then we will get what? 1 is what? True. Okay, and 0 is for what? False. You just need to type, just need to convert it into your manner. Okay, now apart from this, let me just do some sort of, analysis on this. I do remember I have done this. Yeah, somewhere I have written this. Yeah. So yeah, guys, good news for you guys. I will provide this entire book. The notebook which I am preparing here, I will provide you, so that at least you should have a look and you should know like what sir has done and what output we are getting. So I will not provide now, because I need to run each and every, you can say line, and then what all output I will get, I will provide, I will share with you guys. So don't bother much, but yeah, please maintain some notes, otherwise you will forget everything. So better to keep maintaining one notebook, okay, for my class actually. So yeah, so as I have mentioned here, you can see here, print 1.2 2.2 is we are getting 0.5, and this one is also we are getting 0.5. Float we are getting float. Now I do have this floating type of value, I am getting integer because I have just mentioned int, so I am getting 3. Look at here. Now here str does nothing. It means whatever you are just passing, it will take it as an str. So suppose you have just created one variable with this converted. Now you just check the type of this particular print, so it will show you it's nothing but, though it looks like it's a floating value, but it is not a floating value. You have converted it into a string. So same manner, if you have mentioned bool 1, then you will get true, and bool 0, then you will get false. So this is how conversion takes place. Okay, so I guess we are good to go ahead. Somebody has pinged. Let me see, sir, what is homogeneous and heterogeneous collection? So homogeneous, what do you have, have you heard about this? Tell me. Now, homogeneous, when you get similar kind of data types. Okay, suppose you have created one list, let's say. Okay, in one list you can have integer, combination of integer as well as combination of float, as well as maybe you can keep string as well. But in case of homogeneous, you do need to have only one type of values. Means it has only integer, all the list contains only all the integers, means one type. If list contains one string in a multiple places, then it has all the strings only, or maybe it has only so I can explain you by saying through the example. So you can see here these values are nothing but the integer values. So if I'm gonna use array, means maybe for I'm going to create list for, let's say, for what, for string, let's say. So I'm gonna write here str something, or maybe I can mention it as somebody's name, let's say like this. So here I should mention all of similar type. Okay, let's say here I have mentioned. So you can see here, as you can able to see my screen here, you can see we have str, money, and list. So this is what, this is kind of a string. So all the values are string, means consistent. It's not like it's a combination of a string as well as it's a combination of integer as well as it's a combination of float. So this one we used to call it as a homogeneous. When you are inserting into this one as well as two, let's say, this is the combination of string as well as integer. Now this one we used to say called as heterogeneous, because we have different kind of data type placed in a list. Okay, are we clear? So whoever has asked, just raise, or maybe you can just mention on the chat box that is clear. Yes, great, thank you so much, 554. Yes, now we were at this part. Now let me just cover you and give me give you guys some brief about escape characters. So suppose you need to move into the next line, or maybe you want skip some horizontal tab, or maybe you just wanted to give some escape kind of thing. Then what character do we need to use? So for slash backslash n has to be used for output, which has to be into the next line. Suppose you want something and then you want output should be in next line. So before this, let me go through the practical, because I'll compare and I will show you how exactly it looks like. So I will just mention it as a using command escape. What is that? Escape characters. Now here what I'm writing, suppose I am writing print this one. This is Python class, Python programming class, and students are very good. Okay, so I have mentioned this, but I want this line should be on the next. These students are very good should come in the next line, but that is possible only when we will use backslash n. So before this, if I will run this line, you will get output is in the same. Okay, now you want output is in the next line, so what you have to do is, okay, oh, so sad. Thank you so much for pointing out this. Okay, yep. So nothing much here. I have mentioned, I have written in print statement, I have written this Python programming class. I need to mention this is Python programming class, and in this class, this class students are very good. I just wanted to mention like this. So I have ran this. Once I ran this, I got this output. Okay, everything comes in a one line. I need from this onwards, this particular line has to come up in the very next line of and. So I should mention it as a backslash n, and then just you need to run. Look. Okay, so this is where we generally use this. Okay, now same manner. So here, instead of here, you just I'll write, I'll append one more line and I will just mention it in such a manner. Yep. So here we go. You can easily compare this example. Yes. Okay. So you can mention it here. It's a print and then this. Okay. And just mention like this. Just do it this. That's it. Now you can easily see how exactly the output you will get. Okay. So why I have done this, because you can easily differentiate between where exactly I have used backslash in. Now similar manner, how I'm gonna use backslash t. Okay, so you have just read, I don't know whether you have read or not. Let me just use this. Okay, so I am gonna use this one, and I'm writing same. Let's say I have to write the same line. Yep. Now I just need, in after this I need some sort of space or kind of thing. So you just need to run. You see, we have received a lot of space here. Okay, I guess this clears you a lot, and let me just share you another one which I am covering here. Suppose I need to insert a single quote mark to be printed. Okay, and then I just wanted to show you how exactly double quote marks is to be printed, and then what is the role of double backslash. Okay, so now, so please guys, beware with me. I am gonna show you all the things which I'm gonna cover here. So that is why I used to say programming is very important, and learn through the example is much more easier than the theoretical. So that is why I keep on emphasizing you guys, this is very good method to learn everything, because you will learn theory, that is fine, you know like where exactly it is being used, but you don't know how exactly it is gonna looks like. Okay, so now what is our important thing is, so you have mentioned the same. Let me just take the same example here again. Before that, let me write how exactly we are gonna use this. Sorry, my bad. This one, how are we gonna use this, and then this, and then how are we gonna use this? Okay, so these things which I need to use actually. Now take it one by one. Okay, so I am gonna take example first of this one, this. Now here I just want this string Python programming has to be in single quote. So I am just writing like this. Yes. Okay, so let me run this. You can see here. So I said I want Python programming to be on single quote. So what I have done, I have just used backslash and single quote. Okay, okay, so this is Python programming, and then you have mentioned class, and then in the class students are very good. Now I want students to be on a double quote. So what I will do is, here I am gonna write I want students to be on a double quote. What I will write, I will write like this, I will write like this. Okay, yep, just run it, you will come to know. See, students are in double quote. So this is where actually we need all these kind of things. Okay, now you wanted to use this one, let's say. So what is the purpose of using that? That is a backslash character. Okay, so suppose I wanted to print this backslash. How I'm gonna print? If I will use couple of times this, then it is automatically getting printed. Okay, guys, give me a moment. Okay, give me a second. Yes, sorry guys. Yeah, so I need to use double quote here. Yeah, before this, see. Okay, so I hope this clears everything for you guys. So let me again go back to our slide. Yes, here we go. Yes, now this has been covered. So for each character, you come to know like what exactly we need to perform for each escape character basically. Okay, I have written here means what exactly the purpose of this. So you guys might maybe many of you are quite noted down this particular thing, but please keep a note of it. Now, formatting numbers. So how we do formatting numbers? Suppose let's say when we see some floating numbers which is being displayed in the print statement, and it can appear with up to, you maybe you can say for integer it is appeared up to 15 significant digits. Okay, so I have just taken one example here, and I have mentioned, suppose in a class we have total 100 students. Now I just wanted to know average number of students per branch. So let's say you have 3 branches on your class, and I just wanted to know how many people are per branches. Okay, how many students basically on a per branches. So I need to calculate the average. Okay, so once I'll get that, I'll be getting output like this. But nobody likes this output. Suppose you wanted to show this to your professor or maybe your HOD. Now sir, this average we are getting, nobody will like this, because sometimes people think like, okay, up to 2 digit is fine. After decimal, up, you can get up to 2 digit, that is also fine. So how will you do that? You need to have some mechanism to do that. That is where we generally use formatting specifier. Okay, so I have mentioned here some examples. Okay, so let us go one by one each example. Let us take both example and let's see how exactly it's gonna work. Okay, so before proceeding, let's see point 3f and point 2f specifies what. So point 3f says that 3 decimal places. Okay, and point 2f says it's a 2 decimal places. Okay, now f specifies that the data type of the number we are formatting is a floating point number. Okay, so guys, make sure if you are writing f, then that is nothing but the floating point number, and if you are writing d, then that is nothing but your integer number. Okay, now let me take this over the notebook and let me perform the same action. So let me share you the notebook. Yes, and here we go with the same flow. Yep, now if you will see, I have just mentioned here why I'm getting some, here though it's a, yeah, yes, this one. And here we do write like this. Now, see, as you can see here it is 0.9876, here also 0.9876. What I will get, see, so because we had a same number, so let us perform one by one. You are getting this 988, then if I will use this, then what I will get? I will get 98, because it is rounding off, so we are getting 99. Okay, so that is how formatting is to be done for floating. Okay, fine. Now let me share you my presentation with you again. Yes. So here also I have just pointed out one more thing. Suppose you want to display floating point number in scientific notation. Suppose you have this kind of floating point number, which is it doesn't look good to basically, even I don't like this kind of number, but in banking we do need this kind of number. Okay, so how we will represent this in scientific notation? So we have to use E letter. Okay, instead of what, instead of this F, we have to use E. So I just wanted to print both, and I will show you how exactly it works. Yes, I have written like this. Now I need to just run. You can see when I have written 0.1 E, so I am getting 3 and then E. I have written 0.2 E, I am getting 3, 3 and E. If I will write here 0.3 E, then I will get triple 3 and E plus 0, 1. Okay, so this is how the scientific notation can be represented. Okay, if you want to represent your floating number into this. Now let me move on to the comma separator. So comma separator, suppose I want to insert some commas between the numbers. Suppose they, nowadays, I don't know whether it's a nowadays or maybe it's a previously also, you might have seen like in bank or maybe in your PDF, or maybe what, bank statements, you generally used to get lakhs of rupees in a comma specifier. Okay, using this comma. So if they will write 50,000, then they will definitely use 50 and then comma and then thousands, triple zero. So this is how now they are using this PDF. So how exactly that in PDF that particular value appears? So there also, what actually we do, we format same number with the comma separator. Okay, so I know like you guys are not able to see properly here where exactly I have kept this comma, but I am pretty much sure if I will show you the same with my Jupyter notebook, then you guys would be able to know how exactly it is being used, because these kind of thing has to be on a display. Now what I'm doing here, I'm using, instead of 0.25, look here I am using still 0.25, but I am using comma before that, so that after always 2 I will get some comma. See, so you are getting comma, so comma you are getting here, and 0.25 stands for what? 0.25 is nothing but our this one 33, because you can see here 0.3, 0.2f, if you have used, you are getting just two place digit here after the dot. Okay, So now to place comma, you need to just insert comma before this. Okay. Now let me move on to the minimum field width. Okay. So minimum field width is this format specifier can also include a minimum field width. Okay. So we have this kind of big number, let's say. Okay. And then we just need some space before that. Okay. Let's say we need some space before that. Then how will you do that? So let me just take this example on a notebook, and so that we can tell how exactly the output comes and how exactly it looks like. So as you can see, I have mentioned here. Okay. The number is, after the number is, there will be a huge space. Okay. So why? Because I have mentioned here before 0.25, I have just mentioned 14. So that is what we used to call as, suppose I wanted to give field width. Okay. So width comes before this number. This particular number is there, and width will come before this. Means after this is, and before this number. So let me run this. Now you can see here we are getting this much width. Okay. So now suppose sometimes it happens like you don't need immediately this number, you need after some times, or maybe after some gap. So that is how, suppose you wanted to print this number is here, and then you wanted to print here, rest is there, means quite far. So you just need to mention here, instead of 14 you just mention is like 44, you will see. Yeah. So the width is getting increased. Okay. So if you wanted to increase the width, you can increase in this manner. You just need to append how many width you wanted to, how much width you wanted to increase, and that need to be right before 0.25. Okay. Now let us move to the very next topic. Yes. Now we can see here, format in teaser. How do we format? Though we have learned how to format floating values, now let us learn how to format integer. Okay. So here, as in the previous 5-10 minutes back only, I have said like, for float we have to use f, for integer we have to use d. Okay. So this is how we have to work on. Now we cannot specify any precisions here, because you do not have any precision in the integer value, you will get only integer value. Okay. So that is why I keep on saying like, you don't need to perform any sort of precision in integer values. Okay. So now let me do that. Let me perform this particular step for you guys. So please keep in mind two things. We have to use d for type designator. Okay, here I have used d, and then we have to use, we do not need to use any precision, or we do not have to specify any precision, because it's a just integer value. Okay. So I am gonna take this example, and I'm gonna write this in front of you guys in a notebook, so that you get how exactly our output you will be getting. Yes, here we go. Here we have written like this: format, you are doing format, and then you are specifying d. Look, so before d I have mentioned it comma, you can see. So that comma is being performed here. Okay. And that has to be kind of logical comma. Okay. Here you don't need to mention 0.25, or you don't 0.2f, or here you don't need to mention 0.2d kind of. Okay, so please, I always used to say like please work on this, because what happened in organization, they want this precision to be till you know 15 digit. If you will cut it without knowing or without letting them know, if you will cut it down to 2 3 4 decimal, then definitely they will charge you and they will give you some penalty, because this is what I can say. One of the incident happened in Morgan Stanley. So I don't know how many of you have heard about Morgan Stanley. This is also one of the big bank of US. There what happens, somebody has coded, and in that code somebody has done, instead of taking entire 15 digit of precision, they have just specified 4 digit of precision. Okay, so in that case, that 4 type of decision, they are getting loss of lot many things. Okay, so they have reported they have lost some millions. So out of that, that is why they have charged, they have fired that guy who has done the coding, and they have even included some penalty. Okay, so that is how you need to perform the thing. So please, I just keep on saying like you need to emphasize these things, and you need to apply these things very carefully. Okay, either you do it, either you don't do. Okay, but please, very, from the basic I'm saying, you need to be very specific about the notation. Okay, and this kind of indentation. Okay, now, so from the here, I have covered about formatting, I have talked about data type, I have talked about lot many things which has already happened here. What type of data type, escape characters, operator precedence, and many more. Now from here onwards, we will have you know uh, another data types which we have already learned today: list, tuple, set, memory, set, dictionary. Okay, so again, if somebody has not written what exactly it is, so please write it down. So I maybe from today onwards, I will take one by one each definition. Okay, maybe. So today we are gonna cover list if at all possible. Then tomorrow we will cover tuple, and then we will again move on to the set and then the dictionary. Okay, but I must say, please, please pay your attention here. Okay, because these are the 4 type of collections item, you can say. Okay, collection data type, which are very important for entire Python course, as well as for doing any sort of coding or implementing any software, any building any code. Okay, you have to have, you are going to use these 4. I bet you guys, without using these 4, you can't do any code. Okay, so please pay your proper attention into these, and you have to work on this. Now let us touch a list. What is list? So list is a collection which is changeable, and it is in ordered. Okay, kind of order, you can say. So how we will create a list? Okay, so that is also you need to know, how are we going to create list. So I have specified here, I have created one list which is named as C list, and then I have just mentioned my name and whomsoever. So you just need to mention that. Okay, so this is how you just need to know how you will create. You have to just open braces and close bracket, and what all you have to specify, you can specify. So let me go and let me create one list for you guys. Yes. So what I'm saying here is list is a collection, okay, which is changeable and ordered. So now here I have mentioned list having some operations. So you have to create list. How are we going to create list? You have to just take a variable, okay, and then you have to open braces, open bracket, then close that bracket. Inside that you have to specify either my name, either yours name, whatever, okay, you have to specify. So this is how you can create your list. So let me just go back to the this notebook and let me create list first. So here, as I said, I am gonna create one list which is nothing but the named as C list. There we have mentioned these many names. You want to insert other name also, you can mention. Okay, now let me print this list. Without printing, do you think like anything will come? No, so nothing will come. So as it is saying like it has some error. What is the an error? It's because you have written on a, Windows, and you are here doing this. Why we are getting this error? Tell me. Anyone who can help me out? Anyone can help me out with this? You know why? Because I have just copied from the word and I have just pasted here. So unnecessary from the word we are getting here some space which is not required actually. Okay. So now it is printing anything? No. So you want to write print and then just mention list. So I am getting here list in this manner. You can see. So we are getting basically I wanted to write Praveen and here just wanted to write Kiran and Raj and all. Okay. So here how you can create your list. Okay. Now I wanted to access this element, or maybe I wanted to know about what is placed in the in third value. What is third value? What is second value? So how will I get that? So do we need to call it something else, or are we need to do for loop? So let me try in this manner. Let me write it like print. I'm calling C list. Then I just mention two. Let's say what I'm getting. Oh, Raj I'm getting. So 2 is what? Raj. Now what is in 0? So we will get Praveen. Prav. Yeah. So this is how you can access elements in the list. Okay. So now you can see create a list in this manner. You wanted to access something, you can access from this. Okay. Now suppose you wanted to access a range of values. Let's say let me just create one more list. This I should write it like C list 2. Here let me write another few names. PK, Allu Arjun, Mahesh Babu, Pawan Kalyan. Then who else you want to be entered? Mm-hmm. Bahubali you forgot. Mm-hmm. Guys, anybody can tell the name? Who is the actor of Bahubali? Nobody knows. Prabhas. Okay. So I have just created this name. So this is the list. Now I have created this. Let me print and let me see whether this list has something or not. Print C list 2. So you are getting everything in your list. Now I want to know all the actor name. Suppose I want these actors name. Okay, Allu Arjun, Mahesh Babu, Pawan Kalyan, and Prabhas as well. So how will I write? Because I need all the set. So I should write in this manner. Let me print just C list 2. Okay, I should give. So you need to count it. 0, 1, 2, 3. So this comes from 4 to 5, 6, 7. Let's say 7. You can specify in this manner. You want from 4 to 7. So who all actor will come? Oh, Allu Arjun, Mahesh Babu and Pawan Kalyan. Prabhas is not coming up. So you need to specify 8 to get Prabhas as well. Okay. Now, same output you can get if you do not mention the rest of the things. Means you can mention like this and leave this as an empty. So it will start counting from Allu till end. So same output we will get. See. Okay. And now suppose you want normal people name. So normal people just like us. So I'm writing like this and then I want from 3 onwards. Let's say let me specify 0 and then later on we will say. So we are getting Praveen, Kiran, Raj and PK we are missing. So we have to specify 4 as well here. Okay. Now same thing I can achieve using removing this 0 and I just mention a colon, that's it, like this. Okay. Now I want this to be, I just wanted to print few things means I want only Prabhas name and Prabhas name is present in the end. So I should be writing my code like this. Okay, -1 refers to the last element. If I will print this, you can see we are getting Prabhas. So this is how you can work on the list. How exactly you can create the list, how exactly you can access all the elements present in the list, what all operations we can perform, how exactly we can define the range. So this is nothing but the range only. So 4 to 8 I said. So 4 is the beginning index and this one is nothing but the end index. Okay. So if you will count here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a beginning index you can say. Okay. So now this is how the list works. And yes, so it's your time guys. So just wanted to know, are we good? Just please ping me over the message because I wanted to see actually whether we have good or not, because I have covered a lot many things and I tried my speed to be very slow. Truly speaking, I am at my side, I can I can feel I am going very slow, but that is what you guys have asked me to do. Okay, so that is why I kept my speed very slow. But yeah, please, again and again I am telling, I don't know Telugu much. I know kunchum kunchum, not much. So that means I can talk in Telugu but I don't want to talk in Telugu. Okay, so guys, please, So before asking anything, please do let me know if you're not able to understand, clearly. But I will repeat again in English only, because it's been, instructed by your HOD as well to speak in English itself. So I don't want to take any risk. Okay. So yes, just I want somebody can raise hand, or maybe few people can raise hand if they are able to understand everything. Guys, please, I need the response, and so that I can close the call. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you, 538 and 525, and many more people have raised their hand. Thank you so much, guys. So we are good to close this. Please do let me know if you have any doubt. My number is already there in the WhatsApp group. So if you want anything else, do let me know. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening us.